Buckle up, listeners, because today we are diving deep into some wild tech. Seriously, this is the stuff of sci-fi, but hold on to your hats because this is actually happening.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking about China. They are working on a weapon. It can knock out satellites using microwaves. I mean, right out of Star Wars.
The Death Star vibes are strong with this one.
And the crazy thing is, it's not just theoretical anymore. Early tests show that it could really work. So let's break this down. Basically, the weapons zap satellites. It disrupts their signals. Think GPS, communications, the whole shebang.
And it's pretty scary to think about the impact that would have. No more GPS, like our phones, cars, everything relies on that. And forget about financial transactions.
Yeah, complete chaos. It makes you realize how important space is becoming, strategically speaking. Whoever controls space kind of controls everything else.
Absolutely. And it's not just China either. I mean, the U.S. is also working on similar technology. Like, have you heard of Thor?
Thor, like the god of thunder.
Yep, that's the one. It's the Air Force's tactical high-power operational responder.
So is it the same kind of weapon as this Chinese one?
I mean, it uses a similar concept, yeah, but the main purpose of Thor is to take down drones. This Chinese weapon seems to be more focused on, like, bigger, further away targets like satellites, but it definitely shows that this whole directed energy weapon thing is a big deal. Like, everybody's working on them.
Okay, so let's get into the nitty-gritty. How does this Chinese system even work? Like, do they just point a giant microwave oven at space and hit start?
It's definitely more complex than that. It's more like, imagine you have a bunch of flashlights and you focus all of their beams onto one tiny spot. That's basically what they're doing with microwaves, synchronizing a bunch of different waves to create one super powerful concentrated beam, and that allows them to really precisely target a specific satellite.
So they can pick and choose which satellites they want to knock out.
Yeah, it's pretty terrifying when you think about it.
No kidding. So what happens to the satellite when it gets hit by this beam? Does it, like, explode?
Well, it depends on a lot of factors, like how strong the beam is and how long they hit it for. They can do everything from just jamming the signals to, completely frying the electronics and even causing physical damage to parts of the satellite.
Wow, that's some serious firepower. But there was something else in the reports about this. Something about incredibly precise timing that makes the whole thing possible.
Oh, yeah, that's a huge part of it. So, the Chinese researchers, they've achieved a level of timing precision that's even more accurate than the atomic clocks they use in GPS satellites.
Wait, they made a clock that's more accurate than the ones that run GPS. That's crazy. Why is the timing so important, though?
Think of it this way. They're combining all these microwave beams, right? So to make that work, all the beams have to hit the target at exactly the same time, like down to a tiny fraction of a second. If even one beam is off by a tiny bit, the whole thing falls apart.
So it's like perfectly choreographing a dance, but with microwaves.
Exactly. Precision is key.
But what I find really fascinating is that this super precise timing tech, it's not just for weapons. I mean, they're building an entire system around it, aren't they?
Oh, absolutely. It's called the High Precision Ground-Based Timing System, which is a mouthful, I know. But basically, it's going to blanket all of China with incredibly accurate timing signals.
So they're really going all in on this timing thing. What's the big picture here? What's it all for?
Well, it's part of what they call the PNT resilience triad. PNT stands for positioning, navigation, and timing. It's basically their way of saying they're creating backup timing systems in space, on the ground, and through fiber optic cables. So even if one system goes down, they've got others to rely on.
So this is more than just a military thing.
Oh, yeah. Imagine a future where financial transactions, communication networks, the power grid, even self-driving cars all rely on this ultra-precise timing. That's where this tech is headed.
That's both mind-blowing and a little bit scary, to be honest. It makes you wonder about the unintended consequences.
Right. Like, what happens if someone hacks into this system? Or if it fails for some reason? The potential for disruption is huge.
Absolutely. So to recap, we've got China developing a potential weapon that can disable satellites. And they're doing it using this crazy precise timing technology that could revolutionize a ton of other fields too. This is a story with huge implications, not just for the military, but for technology, economics, maybe even our daily lives.
And it really makes you think, like, how will this tech change the global balance of power? What does it mean for international relations? There are a lot of big questions that we need to start thinking about now.
Definitely food for thought.
Yeah.
And that's where we leave it for today, folks. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and keep your eyes on the skies.
Because things are about to get very interesting.
You got that right.